Hey YouTube, this is David back again for another review. This isn't the actual review of the film Repentance that I've put together and with the webcam a little while ago. No, that'll be right after this little bit of the audio here. It'll be just a couple minutes, but right now I want to talk about something that I think I didn't stress enough when I was talking about the movie, and that is that the versatility of one actor in particular in this film, Forest Whitaker. I don't know if maybe I did, but I just want to make sure right now that I drove home the point that I was really, it was kind of a treat to watch that kind of acting. I don't know what it was about it. Maybe other people would say, well, this particular movie, it was no big deal, and maybe he's done better things, maybe he's done worse. All I know is when I watched him transform in this movie from a man who has obvious problems, mental problems, maybe emotional, psychological problems, I couldn't really put my finger on what while I was watching the movie, what exactly kind of problem he had, or if he really was a madman, if he was crazy or insane. And so maybe that's what it was, the fact that uh, what the deal with him was. I realized the writing, the script, the story, screenplay, it all comes into play. It's just what I take away from it, from the film, was his talent. The way in one part of the movie he's flipped the roles with uh, Anthony Mackie's character, and now he's the therapist. He's like the doctor. He's going to help him while he's got him in bondage there, trying to talk to him about his problems, and all he wants to do is escape. And to see Forrest Whitaker try and ask him all the same questions that he had been asking him, and reverse things like that, and for him to get fed up in this insane way and say, you know what, I don't have to take this. I'm going to go do something else, or whatever, and to go into the next room to see about his daughter while he's got this man kidnapped and chained, keeping him there hostage. It was the movie itself had me going, and I realized other people probably could have seen certain things coming from a mile away, but I just enjoyed this film a lot, and I enjoyed his acting. I enjoyed all their actings, all the different people, especially the four main stars themselves, of course, but yeah. Anyway, it, I don't usually watch movies like this, is the thing about it, and so I don't know. I just wanted to make sure that I drove home the point that this was a unique little thing for me to watch and review, and it was ultimately very interesting to see uh, Forrest Whitaker's acting in this particular movie. Anyway, my actual review that I've done will start now in just a moment when you see it start up. And again, bunch of spoilers, so beware. You're forewarned if you don't want to know some of the particulars that happen in the movie in case it might ruin it for you. Uh, but anyway, thank you for watching. We'll see you next time. Hey YouTube, this is David back again for another quick review. This review will be of the movie Repentance, 2014 film, starring, well, let me start with the director. Felipe Caland, writers are Shintaro Shimasawa, screenplay Philippe Caland, based on the film The Gypsy and the Guri. are Angel Sanchez, Anthony Mackie as Tommy Carter,
Mike Epps as Ben Carter, Santa Lathan as Maggie Carter, Nicole Ari Parker as Sophie Sanchez, but a lot of these others are getting into some smaller roles. Peter Weller's in there as Mayor. He's basically the book publicist for Anthony Mackie's character, Tommy Carter. The main star, I want to call him the main star, character is Angel, played by Forrest Whitaker. Um, I've only ever seen Forrest Whitaker in I don't know why it was such a memorable role for me in the
that film with John Travolta, which the actual name of that movie, even though I really like that movie, is escaping me right now. But I want to make mention of this. This was I just really liked him. He was like the sweetheart guy, the good, the kindly neighbor of John Travolta in that film way back when. Is it Phenomenon? Is that the name of the movie? Yep, Phenomenon. And most recently, he was an FBI guy. I didn't really like the way he was used in that movie. Like, they could have done more
with his part, I feel like, than what was done, and things could have been done better. But anyway, that's the most recent thing I've seen him in. I know he's been in a lot of stuff, and even some high art kind of stuff. I forget what that role he was supposed to be in. I don't know if he actually won an Academy Award, an Emmy or something, Oscar. But I like Forest Whitaker, and this character that he plays is just really interesting. I'm gonna go with the names. I just want to go with the actual actors' names for this quick review. I'll try and make it quick because, well, it'll probably be long, like a lot of mine are, long reviews. I'll just be saying Forest Whitaker, or maybe Angel in his case. Anthony Mackie, who plays who's Angel's brother. Tommy Carter. Mike Epps, who plays Ben Carter, and Sana Latham, Maggie Carter. I'll probably just be saying the names of the actors and not the actual parts they play, except maybe for Angel, Forest Whitaker's character. Again, Tommy Carter, played by Anthony Mackie, and Ben Carter, played by Mike Epps. They're brothers in this film, and Maggie Carter is played by Sana Latham, is the wife of Tommy Carter, played by Anthony Mackie. Okay, let's get into it. I don't think I've ever seen a movie quite like this. I really don't. I was leaving the theater thinking, what did I just see? In the best sense possible, because I know I said that about Sabotage in the worst possible sense. Just got through with that rant. But this movie that I saw last week, maybe the last showing, matter of fact, waited till 10:30 at night, wasn't going to get home till 1 o'clock in the morning. Still, I'm glad I saw this movie and I stayed for that late showing. It's the only time they were showing it. It might have been the last showing that they had of it before changing over to different movies. I didn't realize it had been out since January, February, so it had run its course, I guess. And something about the trailer, about the character that Forest Whitaker was going to be playing, kind of a crazy guy. Is he crazy? Is he some nut? Is he a psycho killer or something? And Anthony Mackie. I'm curious about Anthony Mackie because I know he's going to be Falcon in a few days in Captain America 2, The Winter Soldier. And I know he was in a movie, Academy Award-winning film, I believe, The Hurt Locker. I've never seen that movie. I want to watch it. I got to watch that one day. I haven't seen it yet, The Hurt Locker. So I was curious about him too, and I kind of like Sana Latham from. I actually liked her performance in Predator. I mean, I like her. So I just thought, let's go see what this is about, and I'm glad I did because even though it's kind of an intense movie, I wasn't sure if it was going to be a horror movie, and I was thinking to myself, you know what? Let's just take a chance, because this would be, if it did turn out to be basing it on the trailer and me going to see the movie, it's the closest thing to a horror movie that I would ever watch, because I'm just not into horror in a big way at all. I mean, I kind of like the idea of the Nightmare on Elm Street, like Freddy Krueger, like in your dreams, an actual nightmare in your dreams kind of a thing, but you could do that in one movie. It doesn't even need a franchise and 7, 8 films. Anyway, I'm glad I watched this movie. I would say if you're interested in this film, to go ahead and see it. Forest Whitaker's character is Angel Sanchez. He's a very
mixed up guy because of a tragedy he suffered in his life with the loss of his mother. He's received psychiatric care, I believe, and he's on medicine for a bipolar disorder. Like, he's up and he's down, and he's kind of erratic in his thoughts, and it keeps you on the edge of your seat. At least I was thinking throughout the film and the things that he does. And again, spoilers, I'm going to be talking about the movie detail a little bit. Was this constant thing of, is he crazy or is he not? What is his deal? And so movie begins, and this was something, the eerie music at the very beginning made me think, oh great, I'm in for a jump scare movie for sure. Something about that opening music. But then it's just Anthony Mackie, Mike Epps, who are brothers in the film. And they're in their car. I don't know if they're drunk or if they're on drugs or what. Probably drunk, I was thinking in my mind. And they're swerving on the road as they're driving. And Mike Epps like, this here, they're going over a bridge. This a bridge right here. This is a bridge. As they're going over the bridge. And then you don't see what happens, what really causes their accident. Something happened, and then all of a sudden, bam! They side of their car into I don't think it's a tree. I think it was a light pole. Smacked into it, car accident, and then it's in the future, further on in time, a few months or years later, apparently wasted, as it were, like that. He's like,
with this approach of being like a multicultural, what's the word? Comparative religions kind of a thing of spirituality or whatever, and he does a lot of yoga, and as he tries to help people heal from the scars you don't see on x-rays, as they used to say, psychiatric things like that. As a therapist, he's got a master's degree, a couple of master's degree in his field, and he's basically just on his way. And Peter Weller plays this book publicist, highly praising the therapeutic contribution being made by Anthony Mackie's book. What was the name of the book? This is key. I can't believe it. My mind's going blank. I think it's Don't Look Back. That makes sense. Don't Look Back. Forrest Whitaker's there at a book signing, and he asked him, what inspired you to write this in this book, this passage here? Very curious about it. You don't pick up right away. It's something till later that makes you realize just why he's so curious to find out why Anthony Mackie wrote that in the book. And he says, do you do private? Do you do any private counseling? Do you still take patients privately? Because it's like he used to be a psychiatrist, but now he's mostly he's trying to work through his books. And he says, sorry, I don't really do that anymore. I don't take patients, do house calls, visit with people personally, really on a patient basis. And I think he might give him a card or his Forrest Whitaker, Angel, he gives him his contact information for his phone. Then Anthony Mackie, Selena, that's not right, Sana Latham, Maggie Carter, they're back at their house, they're in bed, it's at night, trying to sleep, and you're thinking, oh no, it's starting right now. You think it's Forrest Whitaker. You see that thing where it's like the hallway of their house, and then a black shadow just kind of sweeps across the thing. Like, oh no, he's in their house. This is only the beginning of the movie. It's his brother, Mike Epps. He literally turns the light on in the room, and he jumps out of the bed, and they're like, what in the world are you doing up in here? What are you doing? He's like, hey man, I just got out of county. What's up? And he's trying to make like they have an ideal relationship when you realize they don't. And she wants him out of the house, but he lets him sleep on crash on their couch for a few nights. You see some scenes of
Anthony Mackie of Tommy Carter doing breathing sessions with little kids. And this is the part of the movie that kind of took me out. Like, I guess I'm just not part of that world. Little kids do this. Little kids need these breathing exercises. Little kids have so much stress in their life that they've got to practice calming down and chilling out and trying to, I don't know. Anyway, it was interesting for sure to see, but his wife was there, and it's like class dismissed. One little girl stays behind. It's like she seems out of sorts, like maybe something's not quite right. He starts to talk to her, and he says, I'm a doctor, and I can keep a secret if there's anything that you'd want to tell me. And Forrest Whitaker, basically feeling still, I guess, like he had gotten the cold shoulder from Tommy Carter, from Anthony Mackie. He's like, time to go. And it's his daughter, Francesca. Yeah, Francesca, played by Ariana Neal, little girl. And then Anthony Mackie realized, oh, well, she's with him. That's him again, and that's his daughter. Then the next scenes are of his wife putting pressure on him, like, I want him out of this house. Like, because his brother, Mike Epps, after the car accident, it's like because even though Tommy Carter apparently like wanted to change his life from something that happened, you don't really understand what, because there are a lot of people who have accidents, even if he was drunk. It's wonderful to turn his life around like that. But Mike Epps' character, Ben Carter, his brother, it's like he's the good-for-nothing brother. It's like he's a bum, not wanting to work a lot and hold down a job. He's involved maybe with some, you don't really, I don't know if it really explains if it's drug dealers or what, but somebody wants money, $12,000, or they're going to kill him. And he's actually rummaging through the house saying, where's Granddaddy's coins? My part of the coin collection. It's like he's going to hawk it for some money or something. And Anthony Mackie's like, what's going on? What do you need this for? And he's like, and he tries to tell him, man, they're going to kill me if I don't get the $12,000. He's like, $12,000? Come on, man, you got it, don't you? You got a big book deal. You big to do, Mr. Big Shot now. And there's this kind of a thing with them. It's like he's been working to make something of himself, and yet his brother hasn't been a whole lot trying to do anything at the level of turnaround in life as Tommy Carter has been doing. And so it's like, man, come on, you got the money, you got a book deal. And he's like, I got a little bit of money in advance. It's like, still, man, you got all these book tours and stuff and signings. And it's like I see what I can do, but it's like it's not good enough, because he's like wants the money now, and he's like demanding it. And he ends up leaving. Anthony Mackie, to help raise the money, he actually goes through with taking on Angel Sanchez as a patient. And so he goes to his house, and the house is kind of all beat up, like, looks a little bit like a haunted house, I guess you might say. The paint's been coming off and stuff. You can see things are in disrepair. And it's kind of one of those spooky moments. There's something wrapped up in a bag in the water, and there's a shovel there. And here I am coming to watch this movie about a crazy man who might be a killer. I'm thinking, oh no, he's going to find a dead body. But he just starts moving the shovel a little bit, and all of a sudden, kind of a jump scare. Angel shows up. What are you doing? Like, oh, I just see you must have hit a drainage pipe or something. He's like, yeah, man, I'm trying to fix this stuff, trying to fix up the house. He said, you ever think of putting it on the market? Yeah, there's just so much stuff to fix right now, man. And so he tells him that he wants to take the job. I remember him saying that his hourly rate was $300 an hour, and I was like, ugh! Can't do it. Can't handle that. Anyway, he starts to counsel him, and he starts to take him into his trust. But Angel's problem is that he keeps seeing his mother And it's a horrible, suspenseful thing for me because it seemed like every time Forrest Whitaker, Angel, was closing his eyes and going like this and trying to clear his mind, that every time he opened them again, he literally saw his mother. And so it kept me on the edge of my seat. It's like, what is going on? He had him out in the boat trying to get him to smile and stuff. And the thing is, he's this therapist trying to approach this from every different angle with his multi-religious whatever and his karma stuff, his breathing exercises and breathe in, breathe out, and tell me your darkest fears and all this stuff. And Forrest Whitaker is just out in this boat thinking, what in the world are we doing here? I'm not afraid of water. Help me in my problem. I'm not afraid of water. What are we doing here? What are you talking about? And so it just kept me going, thinking, he knows what his problems are. He's actually seeing his mother. And that's what, I guess now I got to admit, leaves me confused about exactly still what kind of movie I saw. Was it a ghost story, or was it a thriller, a mind thriller per se, or was it both? I don't know. And so that's what I thought, I think was kind of interesting about this movie, because it's not that when he closes his eyes, opens them, and he sees his mother, that she's some ghostly looking specter and she's like reaching behind somebody who's not looking directly at her or things like that. It's just her. He just sees her. And she would just be standing calmly and just kind of looking at him, maybe with a little smile or something, just that she was there. And so it just kept me going. I'm like, what is this? And so yeah, he gets the money, actually asking Peter Weller on the phone, his publicist, listen, is there any way I can get a little bit more money? And it's like he hates to do it because it like goes against the kind of professionalism that he's apparently been building for some time to ask for more money like that. But Peter Weller, his publicist, says, sure, I can just add a few dates to your book signing, no problem. He says, thank you. So he gives his brother the money, and it's like he doesn't take it. And I was like, at this point in the movie, I was like, what's going on here? Because he's trying to help him. If somebody's going to kill him, pay him off and just straighten up your act, you know? But it's like, I forget what he did, whether he sold something or did something or was able to buy time from him, but that he's actually going to work. It's like a lumber mill or something, like a laborer job, and was going to be holding down a job, and still has this like an animosity, like a hatred of his brother, saying, you know, man, you think you're so good, you think you're Mr. Big Shot, but I know what you are. He calls him the N-word. I know what you are, and I know what happened. Like referencing what happened at the start of the movie, and we was both wasted that night. But you think you still something, but I know what you are. You ain't nothing. And it's like all this hatred, and you want to know, well, what happened at the beginning? Is it just a car accident, right? He gets on his motorcycle, drives away, and it leaves Anthony Mackie on the doorstep, just thinking about his situation, how he took on that patient to get this money to help his brother because he's guilty about something and wants to help his brother just to help him. His wife putting pressure on him. It's like he's all torn up and being shot at from all these different sides. So he goes up the stairs. His wife meets him. She says, like, you had to do it, or what's going on, or I forget what she says, but he says, my brother's gone. I hope you're happy. I got to get ready to go. Like he's going to go pack for a bag for his book tour. And then he goes to see Angel. But I should have mentioned this. One of the last resort things that he tries to do to Angel is an actual. It looks like some kind of witchcraft type ceremony, whatever. Lit candles. He's sprinkling stuff to represent the elements of the earth or whatever. A little bit of, I don't know, what was it, rice or something into a pot. He brought family members in, these 3 old ladies, and of course his daughter lives with him there, which is really interesting, an interesting part of this movie, and what kept me going all the way toward the end of this movie. just nonstop. I didn't get bored with trying to figure out what was happening. One of the ladies says, I don't know what this is about, but this is a Christian home. And you can't blame her, because it's like, what is this? All these lit candles and stuff. And he's just trying to explain his multifaceted. I brought in family members to comfort him, and he's trying to treat it like a funeral, trying to help him, Angel, see that his mother is gone, and also something to help him understand. Well, like, we'll help her if you think she's still here, to get to the next life or whatever, to make her journey beyond the stars, or to the next level of the next plane of existence, so her spirit won't be lingering here or whatever. But he does all this. He drapes his sheet over his head, says something, a little poem or something, I don't know. Takes it off with Angel's eyes closed. He says, now she's free, and she leaves you nothing but her love. He said that so many times, like, he couldn't have been more thorough what he was trying to do. And then Angel opened up his eyes, and she was there. She was right there behind the window, behind the mirror, the portable mirror, the big, the big oval shaped thing that moves, or behind it. And he just woke up, and he was like, no, she's there. And by then, even his family can see. One of the ladies says, there's something wrong with him. It's just so funny, because it's like, you don't know what's going on. And then they see that they're freaking out by his freaking out. And he's like, everybody get out of my house. And so he kicks them all out. But, of course, his daughter lives with him, and she sees how he got. Of course, she's seen it before, his bipolar problem anyway. He's got that problem anyway. And so then when Tommy comes back, when Anthony Mackie comes back, Tommy Carter, he's basically there just to give him his money back and to say, look, he's trying to explain to Angel, who's happy to see him, that, ever since the other night, things have been changed. I feel better. And I wanted to thank you and to welcome you in my home again. Sorry I kicked you out and stuff. I think I've turned a new leaf. And it's kind of an awkward, hard part of the movie, because he's come there to say, look, I think I've done more harm than good. I took on this case under false pretenses. I don't know if does he tell him that I took on this patient, which I don't usually do, took you on, like he's hurt him or something, like used him for money. I don't know if he tells him that about his brother, and that I just took it to try and earn some money. I did want to help you, though, but I'm afraid I've done more harm than good. And Angel's like, no. It's like, but he's adamant about leaving, and Angel wants to be adamant about keeping him there and maybe talking more about things, about maybe trying to help him, but also that maybe Angel wants to use him too, because he wants him to show him that, you see, I'm doing better. I'm doing something better. Would you tell my wife? Would you let my wife see that I'm doing better? Because he wants his wife to come back, because it's like he still has this dream of who plays his wife. Nicole Ari Parker as Sophie Sanchez, and because he still has this dream of, like, maybe even though his mother's dead, that he has these flashes of how happy the home was when she was there, of them playing the piano and stuff, with his wife was there and his little girl, Francesca. I hope I'm getting the name right. Francesca, about how it can be a home again, and his wife can be there too, and he can still be what he thinks he needs to be and what he wants to be, except for his problem with his mother, seeing his mother. And but he says, no, look, I've got to go. It isn't. I came under the wrong. In the wrong way. I can't stay here, and I've got to go. And he says, no, I understand. I thank you for for being honest with me and for trying to help me and for everything you've done. Just wish I could help open my home for you more here and something like that. But Anthony Mackie turns to leave, and Forrest Whitaker nails him on the head with a hammer or something. Not a hammer, something to knock him out. So then, the rest of the movie, I don't know if this is the halfway point or not, he ties up Anthony Mackie, he ties Tommy Carter up. And basically, I'm afraid this part of the movie, this is going to be, I still didn't know what to think. I didn't know, is this going to be hostile now, or what is this? Because he ties him up in a chair, and you get to see just how mental Forrest Whitaker's character is, and how well Forrest's character did in the acting department of this movie. Because I mean, other people, maybe my mom's probably someone who would say, oh, I saw this coming, and I knew this is what they were going to do, and other people might have seen it, but I've noticed lately when I watch movies that I really am able to, it seems like I wasn't for a while, but now when I'm going to the movies again, I don't know what's happened to me, but I'm completely taken out of the world, and I'm in the movie, and it's all I'm thinking about, it's all I'm seeing. I guess that's why I like the big screen in the movie so much, because I didn't see it coming. I didn't see different things coming, and I'm so glad I didn't, because I enjoyed the movie that much more, not seeing what was going to happen or guessing what was going to happen, even if it might have been a lucky guess. So for the rest of the movie, he's got him tied up, and he's trying to get something out of him. Like, he just says all the same stuff that Anthony Mackie said to him. Tell me your darkest fears. Tell me what's going on. Tell me what he tortures him. What does he do? He's got him, when he wakes up, he's all wrapped up in saran wrap or some industrial plastic and taped up. He can't move. And Anthony Mackie's like, let me go, and all this stuff, like, this isn't going to bring her back, because he knows it's still about his mother. And I can't count how many times, I couldn't count how many times Forrest Whitaker said, I'm not crazy, I'm not crazy. And it's just so great, because I didn't know. And you don't know, at least I didn't when I watched the movie. I was like, is this guy crazy or not? What is this about? Because over the course of a few minutes in the movie, he gives him some kind of a drug, I forget what it's called, that makes his body go numb a little bit so that he doesn't feel pain. And one of the times, the first time when he's taunting him, talking about his book and how many times he's read it, how many times Angel has read Don't Look Back, and wanting to ask him, why did you title this? Why did you title this way? And what about this passage? And I read this so many times and all this stuff. And he says, and what about, you mentioned this drug or something that numbs all this stuff and that he's been feeding him. He says, look, you didn't even feel it when I put that through your leg. And you don't know what's happened yet. The camera goes down Anthony Mackie's body, and you realize he has put looked like a TV antenna or something through his leg, impaled it, speared it through to the other side. And that's one of the times it's like, it is hostile. It is some garbage. This is just going to be dark, and it's going to be bad for the rest of the time. And so he's freaking out, and you're freaking out about because he put it through his leg. And then, like 3 or 4 different times, he knows he's got to go deal with his daughter. Like, I don't know if it's just one night or another day passes while he's got him tied up. And the thing is that kept me going about, is he crazy or is he not, was his transformation. He seemed like this psycho down in the basement with Anthony Mackie, and yet when he went up the stairs and went to see his daughter, he's just a normal guy again, taking care of his daughter, reading a bedtime story, talking all calm and everything, like he wasn't torturing somebody down in his basement and then up in his ceiling. And so it just goes on and on like this until he finally starts to put stuff together. He tortures him so much that he gets him to confess things. You think, okay, is he going to confess something? And is it going to be related to the beginning of the movie? Is the beginning of the movie more than just, I was drunk one time and I had an accident and so I wanted to change my life around, or what? And so he gets him to confess something, and he confesses that he killed his mother's cat. And I was thinking, that is kind of bad, because apparently he said he wanted to see if the cat really had 9 lives, and so he choked it with his bare hands. And I was thinking, that is bad. To choke it with your bare hands, smothered it to death. And so Forrest Whitaker, Angel, he's like, I see. And all of a sudden, he's the therapist now. The roles have changed, and he's like, I think we're making progress. He's got to go out. He's like, you don't make a sound or something like that. Like, you stay there. Like he's going to move. He's got him tied up in a chair and stuff, and in a bag with ropes and stuff. He's got to go deal with somebody. Somebody's knocking at the door, or his daughter. He stops halfway. He kicks Anthony Mackie in the face, and I couldn't help but laugh a little bit. He said, it's for the cat. And then he goes off again. I was like, oh my goodness. They had to do that. That's for the cat. Kicked him in the jaw or something. So, yeah. Like 3 or 4 different times, he goes up and he deals with his daughter. Deals with her. He talks to her, gets her a glass of water, whatever. One time he's going to go clean the fish bowl or something, and then he was walking down the stairs. He drops the fish bowl. The fish gets out, and you hear Forrest Whitaker whisper, oh, please don't die. And he picks up it's like he's sane. He's not some psycho trying to kill everything. He's trying to save the little fish now, and yet he was torturing a human being. It's like, what is this guy's deal? And I didn't get it until the end, when I guess I sort of got it. He says, this is what's got to happen. You're not going to cooperate with me. Because I know, it's like I'm forgetting the sequence of the movie, and I'm sorry about that, but it's like he knows that somehow he's connected to the death of his mother through different little signs, and he's not getting him to confess that. He's like, what do you want from me? Let me go. And one time, he even drills in his shoulder with a drill, like, you're lying. And he goes in on him, and he actually drills into his arm with a power drill, and you're like, oh my goodness, it's a torture movie. And then he leaves him hanging there, and he goes and deals with somebody else. He deals with his daughter 3 or 4 times. His wife comes by, he even has a nice little chat with her about, you see how things are getting better, and I'm doing better with my medicine and stuff. And it's like he's trying to get her back, and trying to get her to come home, like we can be a family again. And she's like, I just don't know. And they have this heartwarming moment, but then it's like he loses her again somehow in the conversation, and she ends up being all tense and saying, look, I gotta go. And so she leaves, and it's really well done stuff, I thought. And so he goes back in, and he says, here's what we're going to do. We got to get them all together. And you don't know what's going on. He goes and he kidnaps Sanaa Lathan. And he texts Mike Epps on the phone and gets him to come over to this thing. Mike Epps got a gun. He's suspicious of the whole thing. And it's at night, and you see his shadow walking around the house like, what's up, little brother? Why have you called me over here? And what? On the phone, it's like, I'm at the place. I'll hang around for about 10 minutes. Just left a message. And then he's walking around the house wondering what's up. All of a sudden, the shadow of Forrest Whitaker, pow, over the head with a shovel and gets him inside. Then Sanaa Lathan had tried to get away, and the little girl almost realized that she was in there. But and this is one of the suspense-filled parts of the movie. This whole half hour or more, and he has them, all 3 of them, tied up in chairs in like 1, 2, 3, in a 3-person circle. It's saying there's some more things that have got to be said, and I know I've missed a lot of stuff putting it together, but this is how it is. At the funeral of his mother, who had died, they had this thing. What was this lady supposed to be? Like a spirit talker or something? Some kind of way they did the funeral. And the interpretation of what she said that his mother said, or the interpretation of what she was saying was, don't look back. And you like to take that to mean, I love you, I'm gone, but move on with your life and be happy. Don't look back. But that's how the movie started, with the first scenes of Forrest Whitaker, of him walking along, and then all of a sudden he's about to go in this place when he sees a flyer on a door, and it's for Anthony Mackie's book signing for his book, Don't Look Back. You see, and so he's like, he takes it as a sign. He goes, and that's when he asks Anthony Mackie if he does private counseling. And so he says, it's your book. It's your book. It's you. And there was something else, some other big thing that I'm missing that also pointed to, man, I wish I could remember what it was. I wonder if, it's on Google. Nah, I won't even worry with it. Won't be able to find it. I'll end up dragging the video out too long. Maybe I can keep this under 50 minutes. I wish that I could remember what the other little sign was that he saw that was pointing to Tommy Carter as having something to do with the death of his mother. And who was it? When he has them all gagged, socks in the mouth or something, he undoes it so they can talk. And I'm trying to remember, who is it that, I think it might be Mike Epps. I think it might be his brother who tells the story of what happened that night. Or it might have been Tommy Carter. It might have been Anthony Mackie. I forget who it was. But the thing is Sanaa Lathan is also there, and the reason that he's brought her in to the thing, why Forrest Whitaker, Angel, has and kidnapped her, is because of the part that he thinks that, apart from being his wife, Tommy Carter's wife, past, the things that he feels bad about in his life while he's been torturing him, is that he admitted that his brother had been going
to a bar, and he saw her there as a bar tender or something, and that her smile melted his heart, and he was falling in love with her or something. But that he went away to jail or something. I think it might have been sometime that he was in jail, but that then he went back to the bar. Anthony Mackie did, Tommy Carter, and he saw her, and her smile melted his heart, and they ended up married. And so he felt bad about that. And so I'm like, this is getting messed up. This is not good. And so he's got her there. And another thing about their lives is that when the day or so that he's been missing, Tommy Carter, she was worried about him, not able to find him. She went to see his brother to see if he knew where he was. And he says, nah, I don't keep up with him, or something like that. And she says, what is with you? Why are you like this? And he's like, don't act like you don't know. It's like then he says stuff like, he's trying to hold down a job, he's trying to do things to impress her, like show her that he can do that or something. And she's like, why? It's like, because they're married now, you know. And so it's like, is he trying to get her back? So you realize that they've all got some problems, and it just gets kind of muddled, the way people feel about each other at that point, and what they want and what they need and so forth, and for their relationships, and the brothers, and how they both liked her and stuff. And anyway, he says, I love your brother. I love your brother. When I see him, I'm going to tell him that I love him. But here it is at the end of the movie. They're all three tied up in chairs with a crazy man who's been torturing one of them for 2 days or so. And so I think it's his brother who tells the tale of what happened that night in the car accident. And you finally see what you don't see in the beginning. They were drunk and driving, but they actually hit a person. They hit a woman, an elderly woman. And it's Angel's mother, aunt. Is that her? No. That's aunt. Where is she at? I can't believe I can't find her here.
anyway, I'd like to say the actress, that lady who played her, played the character. Can't find it right now. Man. They hit her. They hit his mother. And see, that's okay. Well, it's an accident. It's horrible, but it's still an accident. That's what I'm saying. It's okay, as in they didn't do anything malicious. Problem is, he tells the story. Anthony Mackie's character was like all beat up. He was the one driving. He was like half conscious, and he can see what's happening through the windshield. When Mike Epps' character, his brother, he gets up out of the car. He go away, Ad. Ben Carter. He picks the woman up. He picks her up, and it's really sick. This scene in the movie, it was really disturbing. I was like, oh no. This is why this movie is this way. This is why this story is this way. This is why Angel is the way he is, and why he's having these problems. He picks her up, and it's really sick because she's conscious. You can hear her and see her like help me, help me. And he picks her up. He's got her in his arms. Big, strong guy. He can lift a woman up just like that. He looks through the windshield at Anthony Mackie's character. Tommy's like. He can barely see what's going on, and it's really messed up. Ben Carter, he actually shakes his head. He looks around and looks back at his brother's like, he shakes his head like that. He goes over to the bridge, tips her over, dumps her out into the water. Because he didn't want him to get, I say he because it wasn't really their decision. His brother's still messed up in the car, blood from his head from the steering wheel bashing, and it's really messed up because it's like he didn't want to be caught drinking and driving and maybe be responsible for her death. But then again, they in as much as they killed her, whether from the accident or then dumping her out because they didn't want to get caught. They murdered her, or he did. And the thing is, that's really bothersome about it. The whole thing is the way it ends with this confession, and finally, after all this, through this mysterious, supernatural, paranormal way that's total fantasy, but made for a really interesting movie, Forest Whitaker, Angel, has actually found the people who ended his mother's life, accident or through murder. And how he wasn't crazy about, you realize all the stuff he's been going on about how they took her before her time, and all this stuff, and all his anguish, what it's been about. And this is another moment in the movie, and really the last one. He doesn't seem crazy at all anymore. He's got the gun that Ben Carter had, and he just kind of lays it on the table in front of him after they thought he was going to slit somebody's neck or something, or start stabbing on somebody. No, he just undoes Tommy Carter, Anthony Mackie's, tied behind his back. He cuts him loose so that his hands are free now, and he just leaves the gun there in front of him. And this is the part of the movie that I don't know what to make of it. I honestly don't, because I've never seen a movie quite like this. Never myself. I'm sure my mom, somebody's rented movies or seen movies where this kind of thing has happened, but I've never gone to the movies and seen a movie like this before. It's like he knows what he's going to do, or it's like he doesn't care, or really it's an open-ended thing. But let me just tell you what happens. He goes and gets his daughter, and you see in their room where they're still at, and whether it's the basement or the roof or wherever the last torture spot was, and you see Tommy Carter going for the gun, and the way he's holding it, his wife is asking him, what are you doing? What's going on? What are you? And his brother's like, no, man, don't. And all you hear is Tommy Carter say, we're already dead. Spiritually dead. And you see Forest Whitaker, Angel, walking his daughter. I guess that's kind of curious. You hear one gunshot, just one. he's walking her out the front door, that his daughter didn't freak out like, what was that? Is that a gun? But all of a sudden, you hear that, and then it's like he sees his mom for like one last time, like looking through a window up in the, looking back at the house and seeing her in a window in a little courtyard, got like a little path in front of his house, and her in the window, and that she's like smiling, and I don't know if she waves or what, or oh, that's right. Oh, she massages her temples or something, a little thing that they did, like just between them, like a little thing, and then she like fades away, and it's like he's not gonna, it's like she really is gone from him now. And so that is how the movie ends. And in a way it was kind of like a face palm, but in another way it was like there's release, like she's gone now. He really is free. She really is free. And he wasn't crazy. In spite of acting nuts and torturing a man who has now committed suicide, and now I got to talk about that. It's like, he wasn't really crazy? What? And so that's the kind of feeling I had when I first watched the movie. And again, it's like midnight. I'm in Mobile, Alabama at a movie theater. I got to drive home in my old truck that may not work. It was an adventure to stay there and see that movie late night like that. And the music, I like the score, the ending credits music, but it's just like, they had problems, yes. Spiritually dead, you become spiritually alive in Jesus Christ, but that's a whole other video, I guess. You only hear one gunshot, so it's like he killed himself in front of those two, his brother and his wife, and you're like, he didn't do anything really. His brother ought to be in jail for throwing that woman off the bridge. His wife, he's trying to stay out of jail and be a therapist, helping people and writing books and making something of himself. She made a good choice in him, hello, and not the guy who's been in and out of jail all the time. And it's like, she wasn't really guilty of anything. They had this on them, but he still hadn't done anything. But I know that is this movie. It leaves you like, well, they're still tied up. I guess they got out. But still, the spiritually dead aspect of it, the problems that they all had, that is the way the movie ends. And Forrest Whitaker's character is like he wasn't really crazy the way he said he wasn't crazy, but the execution of the film is like the way it was done, the way it was put together is like, I don't know if it could have possibly been done better to do what they were trying to do. And granted, it's this fictitious thing, it's this movie about spirits lingering when I don't believe that spirits linger. And people who are crazy and who torture people, but who are not held accountable for that in the end. It really is a messed up thing when you consider what happened to who, and who goes away, and who dies. But that's the kind of movie it is, and I can only say that it just was interesting to me. One of the most interesting little films that I've ever seen. And the cast: Anthony Mackie, Mike Epps, Forrest Whitaker, Sanaa Lathan. I'm glad I watched it, and I'm glad I watched it at the theater. Again, I can only end this by saying I don't think I've ever seen a movie quite like Repentance, because, again, that's another thing that kind of throws me, is that who repented? You can only hope that his wife and his brother repented, because he didn't really repent so much as confess, and then he committed suicide. Or did Forrest Whitaker repent and ceasing from torturing any more people? He wasn't going to torture people. Or, maybe some of you can can help me out with that part of it. But yeah, this is 52 minutes. Wow. This has been my rambling review of Repentance, and if you watch the film for its suspense and its thriller, be prepared for a little bit of gore, and as much as he gets kind of bloody here and there, Anthony Mackie does throughout the torture process, and to escape one time, he actually chops off his thumb to fit his hand out. It was like, ugh, that part of the movie was just, and it was one of those times where he almost got away, like 2 or 3 times he almost got away from the clutches of the torturer, who, again, it's just really interesting to watch this movie, the motivations, trying to figure out, is he crazy, is he not, did they do something bad, how is this coming to be, and it's through this a paranormal, an extra supernatural means that the mystery was solved for Forest Whitaker's character. And maybe he just goes on, and maybe he gets back with his wife since he doesn't have his problem anymore. But yeah, I think this is one of those films where just about, because as a work of art, people don't solve mysteries through supernatural means, so that throws us out altogether. But as a piece of art, I guess this is one of those things where just what anybody takes from it is what they take from it. But again, I'll just close by saying, most interesting film I've seen like that, and I'm glad I saw it at the movies. I really am. Well, take care, everybody. We'll see you next time. Thank you for watching.